nachos. I might make 4 for that. I'll just make 50 of them. And then the shelf life, they've got amazing freezers to hold it, moisture, humidity control, and all this stuff. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Okay. So, guys, I want to introduce you to this amazingly talented chef here, Angelica. I'm going to ask you about your career in a minute. What I want to ask you first, Angelica, is when we went out for lunch, remember?
We had lunch, yep.
At an industry event. It's really important, guys, industry event, networking. I said, hey, cool, we just had a chat, what do you do, blah, blah, blah. And Angelica, she's a young chef. Cool. I said, wow, I like this girl, she's amazing, she's got a great spark about her. And then I called her and said, Chef, let's have a chat. So I knew Frank, I'd done a bit of stuff with her boss. And I said to her, hey, would you want to be a mentor for Proud to Be a Chef? Straight away she goes, yep. Why did you say yes straight away?
I mean, it's like I get to pass on my knowledge to you guys and share what I've learned, which is something I love doing. And just being part of different chef groups and events is great for a career as well. So why not? Like, yeah.
And I noticed I've seen you around like every trade show I go to where I'm cooking and doing demos. Up there's this thing called the sweet spot, you know, in this food service and all that. So Sheffy's always up there doing them. So how did you get into doing all the demos and all that sort of stuff?
So I'm the brand ambassador for Queen Professional. Also a member of the ACF, so the Australian Culinary Federation. And through that, it was just connections. And they approached me and were like, we need a pastry chef to do demos and be ambassador. And then, yeah, got into doing that, do trade shows, I do demos, I do recipes for online, answer questions from like customers that need advice on vanilla and colouring and how to apply them in desserts. So, yeah, word of mouth and networking, and here I am.
Has anyone done a live cooking demo before? How did you feel when you did your first one, Chef?
So I remember picking up the spatula and my hand was literally like this, and I was like, okay. I was like, it's a lot. But then by day 2, I was like, okay, I know what I'm doing. Like, I still get nervous. Like, this morning I was freaking out. But, like, you get used to it, and it's quite fun in the end, so.
And I remember when my head chef first said to me, because I was always at the back, hardcore chef, cook. So you're going to cook in front of the customers? I'm like, no way, man, I'm not doing that. That's not my thing, right?
Yeah, but back of house.
Guys hated it, right? Now that's my job, right? So it's one other example, and exactly what Angelica's done as well, is to get better, to improve, you need to take yourself out of your comfort zone. You know what I mean? And that's what she's done and continues to do, and keep getting better and doing more and more of it. So eventually you might want to have an ambassador role or a corporate role like me, or do masterclasses or go on TV or do anything, right? Can happen, like to everyone, right? Because all those chefs you see on TV, they're just chefs who start off like you. But there's a bit of spark, there's a work ethic, there's obviously a little bit of talent. It's not only about talent, right? Yeah, and they've, I guarantee you, the first time they cooked in front of us, they were shitting themselves. Right? Like, practice at home. Cook for your partner, do it at home, and pretend you're like you're doing a camera or something. And you see how these guys set up their demo, right? Even with Parrot, right? It's all about that organisation and prep before. So tell us about your career anyway, Chef.
Okay, so I started off doing my commercial cookery course in school, so my Vet in Schools course. And then I did patisserie as well, so I've qualified in both of my both of the areas. I started off in a retail bakery, and so learning the basics, mass production, all of that kind of stuff, so really getting those skills trained. I then moved to a hotel, then to patisseries, restaurants, and have been in restaurants since. So I've worked at places like Donovan's, Dinner by Heston, San Lorenzo, Hotel Sorrento, the Langham Hotel, and now I'm the group pastry chef for Movida, so the Spanish tapas restaurant in the city. So we've got 3 venues, and I create the menus, train the staff, and yeah, it's a lot of work.
I know, it's crazy, huh?
Yeah.
So what are you going to do for us today, Angelica?
So I'm going to be focusing on using savoury elements in dessert and using textures. So I like to take classic desserts and just twist them a little bit, give customers and guests a different experience when eating dessert, because everyone can eat a lemon tart and everyone can have a chocolate cake. But when you throw different flavours in there that people might not be expecting, that's what I love to give to people and present. Also textures, like nobody wants a one note dessert of just like smooth or like something crunchy. Having like little, I call it a party in your mouth of flavours and textures going on. So we're going to go through that today. Yeah, we're going to do that.
Go for it.
You guys were really quick, so I need to grab something from the fridge actually.
Oh, sorry. Steph.
You guys came in, I was like, oh, 1 second.
That's okay. Yeah, so I really like what's the information.
Sorry.
And not that. Look at someone like George, right? He's that big bastard, right? He's like almost like unachievable pick for us, right? Someone like her, she's just only a few steps ahead of you guys. I don't know what she's doing. You know what I mean? So you guys can do it. Did you find it, Chef?
Yeah, I got
I was just
it.
talking shit.
Sweet. All right, so we're going to start off by making a chocolate mousse. We're doing an anglaise-based chocolate mousse today. So we've got if I can work this. We have a milk and glucose in our pan, and we're going to mix that with egg yolks, bring it up to 82 degrees. So we're going to temper our yolks, coagulate the eggs, and that's going to be our setting. So if we can open that.
Let's delegate to Della. You delegate to me. Where's my pastry guys?
Done. I'm
Who's
gonna.
been up? Pastry, these people? You've been up? Have you been up?
I haven't been up.
Okay, come on.
Sorry, there's heaps of stuff to do anyway.
Bang, bang.
All right, you guys can do it. I can just stand here and look pretty then.
Delegation.
Done. All right, I'm good at that too.
Yep, Inisha.
Yep, egg whites, egg yolks in there. So we're just going to warm this up just until the glucose melts down and the milk is warm. Do you guys know what tempering is when it comes to eggs and liquids? Yeah? Cool. Well, for those who don't, I'm sure you'll do, it's bringing the egg yolks, I've got a spatula here, bringing our eggs to the same temperature as the milk, so then when we add it together, the eggs don't scramble and seize. Sweet. Is that warmish yet? Okay. All right. Cool. I'm going to wait for that. I don't have to do anything. Besides from this, we're going to be making a pumpkin cheesecake mousse. And I love using pumpkin in desserts because it's very unheard of in Australia. Whereas in like America, they've got, Thanksgiving, pumpkin, maple, the what's the fall flavors. So I love that. Okay, so it's starting to split a bit, which is all right. So we're gonna mix this. Okay, 1 second. Going to quickly fix this. So you just want to whisk the eggs, and I'm going to pour this in. So we're going to heat up our eggs. So I like to add about 80% of my liquid into my eggs. And then we're going to pour that back into the pot here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. And you can grab the spatula and you can, the spatula's everywhere. All right, and you're gonna mix that in, perfect. Now we're gonna take the whisk out and we're gonna just move this to create our anglaise and bring that up to 82 degrees. So if you wanna get that going. So you wanna bring it to 82 degrees. So obviously you're gonna kill off the bacteria. It's gonna help thicken up the mousse and give it body and consistency. So make sure you get around all the edges and sides. It's going to go quite quickly, seeing as the milk went very fast. Whilst we're doing that, so pastry is all about multitasking, right? So I'm going to be doing like 5 things at one time. You'll see me in the kitchen running around like a headless chook. So we're going to be beating our cream for the mousse, which we're going to set aside. We want this to be a really light whip, so we don't want too much aeration in it because it can split our mousse. So we don't have gelatin, we don't have any of that going on. So our cream and our heat of our eggs are going to be our 2 main important parts of this recipe. Is it on? There we go. Cool. All right. Did you guys learn heaps of stuff before? Yeah? Or is one thing everyone learned? Or someone?
was very fun.
Yeah. Pardon? Yeah. Tempering's so fun. Tempering was one of my favourite subjects in TAFE.
Going up to 72.
73, cool. So we want to go to 82 degrees. Alright. There's a lot of waiting in pastry too. We've got to wait for our cream to whip, wait for something to heat up. Alright. Has anybody had desserts with pumpkin in them before, or yeah? Yay, nay, liked it, different? Perfect, this is what I want to hear. So we're going to give that a quick whisk to make sure it's all combined. Turn that off. And then we're going to pour it over our chocolate. Perfect. I like to let my hot liquid sit over my chocolate for a minute or so, just so the chocolate begins to melt by itself and like naturally. And I'll fold that together. So do you want to grab the whisk, emulsify that together, and then.
Do you want me to go back?
Yeah. Or you can whisk it. Yeah, you can whisk it.
I was doing that.
And then we've got some more jobs anyway, so there's going to be plenty of stuff for everyone to do. All right. I'm going to put this in there quickly.
Oh, is that what that's for?
Yeah, that's my little dish bin. Cool. So emulsify that really nicely together. Sometimes in these cases, I'll keep the spatula.
Okay, sure.
The chocolate can seize. If that ever does happen when you're making it, I like to use a hand blender to really get that like mixture going. Cool. So once that's all emulsified, we're going to let that cool down to room temperature. Perfect. So we just leave that to the side. Done. That's part one. All right. So we're going to continue whipping this. We need the mixer for a few things after this. So I'll get you to make the cheesecake once this is whipped.
Okay.
And then we'll do some more things.
Hey, Angelica.
Hi.
What are you doing? Just want to ask a question?
Yeah.
You got all these things there for you, right? So, we met your amazing buddy last night, Brendan,
Yes.
at Hoggers, and he was amazing. As soon as he started talking about the Young Chefs
Sorry.
Club or Association,
Soft whip.
he just bang, his eyes lit up.
Yeah.
And about the amazing, travelling he's done out of it and the opportunity come his way.
Do you want to put that in here?
You're involved in that, aren't you?
Yeah, so I'm the co-chair for the Victorian Young Chefs Club, part of the Australian Culinary Federation. So one of the best things about it is we get to network with other chefs of similar age. We do masterclasses, fundraising dinners. I've been lucky enough to go to Abu Dhabi and to Singapore with the young chefs. I'm going to grab that bowl off you. That can stay in there. So we went to the World Chef Congress in Abu Dhabi and Singapore, and those are great because you're around the world, you're meeting other chefs from, Austria and Poland and all these places, and you're involved with people of the same age, same interest. So if you can get around the ACF and join, it's amazing. And there's a group in every state. So.
And I think, does anybody want to travel as being a chef here?
Cheers.
Yeah.
One of you want to cut this open and put it into here?
Right. So, you can't just send your CV saying, I'm a chef from Australia, I want a job. That's not working that way. You need to get these
You want to
little
use
connections,
it?
the little networks, the little meet people, and that's how it works. So that's how you get your foot in the door if you do.
So this is for the pumpkin mousse, and that was for the chocolate mousse.
What Angelica and Brendan have told you guys, if you want to travel for work, to have those connections.
Yeah, and networking is a huge thing in our industry, at least. Like me and Mark do networking, and I've met so many people in the ACF who have now become one of my closest friends. And you get to go to the restaurants and meet their chefs that they work with, and it's just this little community which is so important in our industry.
And if you have some advice,
I'm gonna use that to scrape everything out.
The chefs will be the first ones to put their hands up to help you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're in the shit, having a bad time, you just need some help, advice, anything.
Yeah.
Everyone will be the first one to go, "Chef, what do you need?"
We all get it. We all understand each other. So, all right.
Is there a minimum age you have to be to join?
So you technically have to be under 25. Oh, there's a bin here if you want. Yeah. And there's some wipes there if you want to wipe your hands. So it's technically like young chefs are under 25 years old. I am not under 25, unfortunately, but I'm still quite an active member because, yeah, for the group that we are, it's surprising how small we actually are. Like, I would assume so many more chefs would be involved in it. But we're trying to get a hold and make the age a bit bigger so then more people can be involved in it, because there's a lot of people that start in their career that aren't 18 or doing it straight off the bat. It's like a lifestyle change or something. So we want it to be inclusive for everybody to do it. So yeah. So just going back to this, we've got the chocolate ganache coming down to room temperature, our cream whipped soft. Now we're just going to whip the cream for our pumpkin mousse. For this one we want a medium whip, so if you want to watch over that, the medium whip. Once it's done you can put it into that bowl there. And then we're going to make our pumpkin cheesecake recipe. So like I was saying before, I like to use this because it's a different flavour to what you normally get on a menu, right? Like you don't see pumpkin used that often, and it gives a nice savoury element to a dessert. So you go to restaurants or you go out to cafes and venues, and it's, you know, a lot of like high sugar flavours, a lot of fruits like raspberries, caramel, chocolate, all this kind of stuff. But to throw a vegetable in the mix or something different, it's that element of, oh, okay, it doesn't have to be sugar. So this is what I love about just giving a little twist on desserts. So if you want to watch that. Oh.
I have a question for you then.
Yes.
Have you just gone with pumpkin, or have you tried any other vegetable variations?
Mainly just pumpkin because I love pumpkin. Yeah. So for one of my trade shows for Queen, I did my signature dish, which is a pumpkin maple tart and bacon. And to the Australian crowd, everyone was kind of like, "What do you mean bacon and pumpkin?" But
Like more than the...
just slightly more than the other one. But I mean, you can use. Oh, I've done a sweet potato dessert actually at work. So Movita have a sweet potato dish. It's like an almond cake with caramelized sweet potato, and that one's really, really yum. And again, using savoury element along with almond cake. Perfect. So we'll get that out into this bowl. And then we're going to beat our cream cheese with some sugar and spices. Does anyone have any other questions while we're just doing these bits?
Do you find initially you feel when you're a little bit standoffish until they try?
100%.
And they're like, oh, I want a little bit more of that.
100%. So when I was on stage doing the demo, and I could see faces in the crowd being like, pumpkin, or savoury bacon. But they tried and this is actually amazing. I think it's getting people out of their comfort zone, something we've been talking about, to try something they're not used to. And I find a lot of people are very stuck on what they know and what they like and what they're comfortable with. Even with customers trying some of the desserts at work, they like what they know.
Yeah.
So
I was trying to think of myself, maybe when you're baking it, it's on the current trying to batter, and they're like, oh, that's really good, and then you can start putting the flavour.
Yeah.
See the reaction.
yeah, it's just getting people to have a go and try things.
Did that start at when you were working at dinner, or was that before dinner?
A bit before dinner. So just quickly, do you want to add this into here and a tablespoon of the spice? Yeah. Before, so I've done a few other competitions back in my apprenticeship a long, long time ago. And I remember we were in our trial stages of testing. I did a poached pear, I believe, with a pumpkin cream in the inside, hazelnuts and a tuile. Maybe half that. And it was just from there I was like, okay, I don't have to do the normal flavours. I think I've always kind of been a bit of left of field with my flavours in dishes. and just trying to do something different. I don't love following trends. I like to be a bit outside of the box. So we're going to add some vanilla bean paste and some Parisian essence, if you want to do that. One of you? Anyone? It's about a cup size of that. So Parisian essence is from Queen. It's just a dark flavour. It's really good in like Christmas desserts and that like fruity kind of feel. And we're going to add our vanilla bean paste, about a tablespoon, so just a good squirt. Perfect.
Commonly used product for Indian pastry?
It's not. It's you guys can spread it around and have a smell.
Yeah, it's an instant product.
Not many people know about it. Straight from the bottle, not that great. Trust me. But it just adds that like depth of flavour to your dishes. So if you're doing like a rum cake or your fruit cakes, it just kind of elevates those fruity, brandy flavours from the bottle. Yeah, I mean, you can try it if you, yeah, there's some spoons there if you want to give it a go.
Molasses seed?
Not really. It's really hard to explain. Like straight from the bottle, it's like trying any essence. Straight from the bottle, it's a bit like, ugh. But when you put it into a dish, it's different. Yeah. So we want to beat our cream cheese and our sugar and spices so that it's really, really, really smooth. It's strong, right?
Is it used more in savoury as well? Because I know that
You
bakeries and stuff use it to make colour their meat pies.
Yeah, so you can use it in savoury, like in their jus. Yeah, because it's got that really deep brown colour, so it enhances all of that.
It's almost like a black pastry food style thing.
Yeah,
It turns colour into
it like enhances colour, because it's quite deep in colouring.
Question.
Yeah.
With the medium whip, what
Yep.
happens if you over whip it? Does anything change?
If you over whip the cream for the mousse, you will see lumps in the mousse. It's a bit harder to emulsify it nicely because you're going to have those like thick whips throughout. Whereas if it's like a medium soft whip, it will just blend nicer together. Yeah. How are we going for time? Yeah. So the spices I used, it's my little spice mix of cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, allspice, kind of just, yeah. Oh, really? There you go. We're on the same wavelength. But just those. Oh, stop it. There you go. Are you reading my recipes? Like, maybe. But those spices just add to the depth of flavour and like that really earthy kind of savoury note rather than adding brown sugars. Well, we add brown sugar, but you know those really sweet flavours.
with your savoury stuff. Do you like
Do you want to open that?
use alcohols and stuff as well? So I've had a version of this with like fireball whiskey as well.
Oh wow, that'd be really good. Well, you're getting the cinnamon flavour from the fireball, so that would work really well with this too. So, what was that?
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Stunning. So we're gonna push this down with this spatula. That's for that one. Do you want to mix that and just feel the temperature underneath and see if it's still quite warm? All right. So this is nice and smooth now too. Just gonna get rid of any bumps. And it's got this beautiful rich colour in it, which we love. All right. So that's nice and smooth. All right. I'm gonna get you to fold through the pumpkin into here. You're gonna fold bit by bit. And yeah, let me just clean this off for you. All right. So fold that through bit by bit. We don't over mix it because we don't want to split it. But sorry, I'm gonna come through between you guys. All right. While you're doing that, we're gonna get our brown butter crumb started. So I'm gonna squeeze between you guys. All right. Everything's happening now. All right. Has anyone had a brown butter crumb before? Yeah, cool. This is one of my favorite elements to put on a dessert. It's salty, it's that brown butter nutty flavor, so it adds another level to desserts, which I love. So, does somebody want to come and do the brown butter? Yeah. All right. It's going to take some time to.
Is this literally?
That yeah. So I've roasted pumpkin off and just blended it to a puree. All right.
Do you want to take over?
People everywhere. All right. So do you want to watch that until it melts down?
Yeah.
All right. You can use the spatula. All right. Cool. So once that's all folded through, then we're going to fold through the whipped cream. Again, really lightly, just getting it to a nice moussey consistency.
Yep.
And then someone can run that to the fridge while we keep going. I'm going to grab the knife.
What pumpkin?
I just use a canned pumpkin.
Any reason in comparison to others?
Not really. I think a lot of the other flavors in this dish kind of cover the pumpkin. Like, you could kind of use any pumpkin. You could use butternut, you could use canned. It kind of depends on what flavor you want to give to the dish. But you've got like the brown sugar and all the spices coming through, which are gonna like blend and mask that. So it depends on like what else you're putting with it and what pumpkin. Yeah.
Is that just a puree?
Yeah, so I've just roasted it off and then pureed it. Kent's a bit more orange, whereas butternut's that lighter orange colour. Okay. How's that going? Cool.
When I was making my dessert, it didn't look like that.
Yeah. Well, when you blend it as well, it kind of aerates it and will like lighten the colour of it too. So.
Chef, I know I'm trying to do your dish and I keep asking the questions, right? So hopefully you don't mind, but you've done quite a few comps. What advice? So these guys are going to be tomorrow selecting their ingredients, go to the market, go to the kitchen for about 40 minutes to get themselves organised. The next day they've got half an hour set up and prep, 2 hours to cook, and you're going to be judging. So she's done a lot of competition. What a couple of simple tips late in the game now, because it's days. What can you give them?
Take a step back. Like if you are stressing and freaking out, take a step back, look at your prep, look at your bench, and like just take a moment to breathe and like reshuffle yourself, because it's hectic. Like you're going to be running around, finding the clock, getting stuff done. But if you can just take that minute to reset, you'll be fine. The other thing is know what you're doing. Like you've got a plan, you've got your ideas ahead of you, prepare yourself. There's nothing wrong with like over preparing. Yeah, those are my two.
Very organised person, this one.
I
So
try to be.
take that on board, guys. And a really good point you said, sometimes you've got to slow down.
Yeah, we want it to be like nutty.
I don't want you freaking out, right? Take time. That's 30 seconds, take a minute. Chill.
Yeah.
Right, bang, bang. Reset, guys. So keep that in mind as well. And the guys like Angelica, myself, and George, we're not there to judge you. We're there to mentor you.
Pretty much.
Chef, is this butter salted?
Yeah.
Salted.
So the whole crumb is salted. Really salty. Cool. So you can chuck all that in now. I'm going to check this mousse.
Okay, let's. Well, on the way back, I'm catching the bus back with you guys, right? So she could drive around these bloody shares. So let's have a talk about that on the way back to the hotel, right? Talk about the weighing ingredients and that stuff tomorrow, okay?
All right.
Sorry, Chef.
No, you're good. So we just want this to cool down to a room temperature. It's quite warm still. We got. What time are we finishing?
You're looking good, Chef. You still got like 10 minutes or so?
10 minutes?
10 minutes? Is that
Cool.
enough
Do you want to run that to the fridge?
Maybe fast for it.
It's all right. We have a ta-da moment later, so we're all good.
You're all right.
Perfect. So that can go into the fridge as well.
No cover? Just in the fridge?
Yeah, so if I'm gonna have a look at this, ta-da. So it's beautiful like orange color, which when you, so when you add that to a dish, it's that bright color versus just like browns and everything. So yeah, we're gonna run that to the fridge. Good job. All right. So,
Another question.
yeah.
Sorry. You said add like the whipped cream and the pumpkin bit by bit. What happens if you added like all at once, like all the cream, mix it?
Well, I like to add things slowly because it's you've got more room for error. Whereas if you add everything in one go, you can't fix that. So you want to you want to be able to fix a mistake if it appears. So if you add all your pumpkin in and let's say you've forgotten a step or it splits, like you can't really fix that. But if you go bit by bit, you can alter your dish, which is really good for a lot of things that you're making. Leave yourself room for error so you can fix each process along the way.
Is there any of you guys who have not been up involved, plating, touching, doing food, anything asked about food? Anyone not missed out? Please come on.
Sweet. We're going to make the crystallized crumb once this is done, and that'll be great. So I don't know if you guys can smell the butter's turning that burnt rosette. So we're getting that really nice, rich depth of flavour coming through. Once that has come to a nut butter, we're going to mix that with our sugar. And then I've got a mixture of almond meal, flour, brown sugar, and sea salt. So I like to use sea salt in this dish because it just, I like that flaky salt. It's really, I could eat sea salt out of the packet, right? It's delicious. So it just adds that really nice salty flavour. I'm going to go a little bit more. Yeah. So really want that like, yeah. Yum. All right.
Smelling nutty already.
Yeah. Cool. So just move the bubble so we can see.
Little tip for you guys, I told you how organised this lady is. Have a look at that, right? Weighed out, measured, written on it. What are you guys going to be doing tomorrow? Same.
Yeah.
So even, you can't all cry back everything, right? But
Perfect. So turn that off.
your sharpies there, little containers,
And
all the stuff we'll talk about.
do you want to hold this and I'll pull that out? All right. So we've got our burnt rosette. We're going to strain this on top so we can just remove any of those, like all those burnt grainy parts. I scrape everything out of my bowls when I do it because ingredients is money and the ingredients is in the recipe. So if it calls for like 300 grams, I'm going to use 300 grams in my recipe, right?
Scrape everything.
Yeah. That's what I tell my chefs at work too. If I see them like leaving half the mixture in the bowl, I'm like, that's money, that's ingredients, like we're using that. So that can go back in here. Yeah. And then if you want to mix that with the whisk, and then we're going to put this into the pot and we're going to do our crystallized crumb now. And you can do that one for me. Just don't want to burn. That's right.
I've worked with chefs in the past with brown butter crumbs,
Mm-hmm.
where the way that they always wanted to do it, they swear by it, was to do brown butter, but then let it set in the fridge and then process that in a rowboat. Is there any truth to that, or is it more so just a personal preference?
Well, technically, don't tell my old head chef who gave me this recipe. Technically, you're meant to let the butter cool down before you add it to the sugar and move on. But I'm a bit of a let's go, bang it out. And I got the same result in the end. So I guess maybe letting it set could kind of enhance the flavour a bit, let like the butter do its thing. But I mean, we're going to bake it off anyway. So if you get the same result in the end, it's okay. So if you want to mix the dry ingredients into here, I'm going to chuck it into the tray and in the oven. I'm going to grab the stuff for the crumb. Thank you. All right, we'll swap this here. Has anyone done a crystallized chocolate crumb before? 1, 2, all right. Again, another one of my favorite recipes for a dessert because it's so, what's the word? You can use it, it's so versatile. You can use it on heaps of dishes. If you use dark chocolate, it's gluten-free, dairy-free. white chocolate, you get like a caramelized flavor from the white chocolate because you're heating up let me grab this, heating up the sugars in the chocolate. So if you want to pour the sugar into the pot. All right, we've got 5 minutes, so we're going to pump through this hopefully. All right, so sugar into our pot, all in, straight in. We're going to add like 1 or 2 tablespoons of water and just get that covered really nicely around. So if you want to turn the pot. When you make this, you want a bigger size pot and you want a high heat so the sugar heats really quickly and doesn't crystallize. So, how's that going? Cool.
Should it be like a dough shape?
Crumbly is fine.
Crumbly,
Yeah. So that can go straight into our tray. I'm going to pump that into the oven. Okay. Anyone have any questions? I feel like I'm racing through things. We good? Cool. What did the packet say? 150? 150 sugar to a couple of tablespoons of water, and then we've got 100 grams of chocolate. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Because it's just a crumb, it's going to be broken up anyway, so we won't really produce any gluten or anything. It's just to blend it all together. So it turns out sandy anyway. All right. So if you want to pass that to somebody, they can chuck it into the oven. So let's slide that across. All right. Thank you. And that can just go into the tray. Does somebody want to grab the chocolate from the fridge? And we'll see if that's ready. All right. So with our crystallized chocolate crumb, we want this to come to about 152-ish degrees. We want to see that golden color. Now this is really tricky because if you go too light, it's going to turn into a liquid. If you go too hot, it's going to burn and not taste good. So there's this really fine line of when to do this recipe. Yep. Let's get this up. All right. We also have to be very quick when this happens. So
it is like a caramelization.
yes, so we're caramelizing our sugar, and then when we add our chocolate in, it's going to seize, and that's going to become our crumb. So it's a really quick recipe, it's really versatile, it's delicious. All the chefs like pick at it when I make it at work. They'll walk past and I'm like, don't. All right. So this takes a few seconds. Any other questions while we're waiting for this to do its thing?
How long does this crumb hold for after you make it?
Ages. Like I keep this for a month or so because well, if you use like dark chocolate, there's no real like dairy in it, and you're only using chocolate and sugar plus water, so it's got a really long shelf life. Nothing's really going to spoil in it. So I don't. It's kind of hard to show, but there's a bit of yellow happening in the middle. I just swirl the. Actually, you can do it. Swirl the pan. I don't. I do it by eye. So once I start to see a bit of gold coming in the middle, I know that it's getting ready for temperature. So keep swirling that around. We're pretty much almost there. We want the whole thing to be golden. All right. So we're going to, yep, keep going one more time. Perfect. I'm going to turn that off. You're going to dump this in and you're going to whisk it as quick as you can. No pressure. Just
No pressure?
bang, bang. Yep. Go for it. And it should start to seize. And it's getting perfect. Okay. So it's seized up and it's turned to a crumb. Keep going. All right. You're going to tip out half of that into here. You got it? I can hold this. All right. So the sugar has seized and we have this crumb. So that was 5 minutes. So keep going. What I like to do from here, you can pour that out now as well. Yep. That's all right. And then I just use a chef spoon. But like that is one of the quickest crumbs that you can do. Cool. Do you wanna? Cool. All right. So we have like 2 minutes. So we're gonna plate up the dessert. With my ta-da pre-prepared bits and bobs. Oh my god, look at that, so quick. Yeah, this is something I made earlier. All right. So for this dish, so the whole completed dish is going to be chocolate mousse with a coffee caramel, a pumpkin mousse, crystallized chocolate crumb, and an almond twill. So we're using different textures. We've got smooth, we've got crunchy, we've got crisp. Yeah, just down there is fine. Okay, so I'm going to plate it together, and then you guys can try it out. Okay, so the magic of cooking, pre-made bits and bobs. This one, so this is the twill. So I've just done an almond twill using a mold. So using these flat molds, I've just done a mixture of egg whites, butter, flour, almond meal, and cook them off for like 10-15 minutes. So you can get like so many different types of these, and they're really 150. Yeah, so kind of like nice and low and slow. So, to bake? Yeah. About 12-15 minutes. It depends on everyone's oven, like it's a bit different. But I like to say, like, room for error. Start off 10 minutes, give it like 2 minutes, give it a few more minutes. Because if you go straight bang 15, which I did the other day, they came out burnt. So, all right. So to plate this dessert, we're going to do a quenelle of the chocolate mousse in the middle. So I'll do 2 plates so we can see both flat and bowl presentation.
Why do you let them do one?
Oh yeah.
Let's see somebody can...
Who wants to quenelle? That's okay? All right. Yeah, okay. You can just copycat me then. So we're going to quenelle in the middle. Yep.
I'm going to cheat and say I practiced this at Trevor's restaurant.
No, you did too, actually. You did all the time.
Sort of.
Cool.
Slightly better than your chef.
Oh, no, don't say that.
Whoa. That's all right. All right. So we're going to get some chocolate crumb. We'll use the cold one so it doesn't melt. It's all right. We can do a little plate off.
Oh.
We're going to just go around the outside.
Are you doing this one?
Use this one because it's not hot, so it's not going to melt. Unless I can sabotage and use a hot one. No, I'm a nice chef.
So this dish covers everything. It's got like sweetness, creaminess, texture, crunch.
Yeah.
The savoury of the pumpkin, all these things. Great dish.
Yeah, so we get like, I just want to give different flavours, elements, bits, so it's not one note. Like I love lots of stuff going on and happening. All right, you're going to make a divot in the middle of your mousse.
Sorry, a question popped up in my head.
Yes.
The chocolate one, are you able to use like white chocolate?
Mm-hmm. So using white chocolate, you can use white milk chocolate, vegan chocolate. Oh, we lost the spoon. When you use white chocolate, you get a really nice caramelized flavor because the sugar is keen to 152 degrees, so you get like a caramelized white chocolate. So it's really nice and deep and.
It would stay like white still, right?
No, it turns a bit golden.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it also depends, like if you reduce the temperature of the sugar a little bit, it can go a bit further, it'll go golden. So you're in control, really. All right, then we're going to get some caramel, and that's going to go into our divot. So this is a coffee caramel. So I infused some cream with instant coffee, and that's going to play with the really earthy flavours of the pumpkin, Does somebody want to get the pumpkin mousse?
In the corner, guys.
Was there ever something during your career that you just like couldn't get for a long period of time?
Yep, and still now, to this day, I have a love-hate relationship. I'm just going to clean this off. I remember in my apprenticeship, we made a lot of like tarts and all the fresh pastry in the cases, and I could just never get an even tart shell. And like, whenever my boss or like Frank is like, we're gonna make tarts on the menu, I'm like, no, we're not. But like, the more you do it, the better you get at it. So we're getting there, even after like 10, 13 years of my career. All right, we're gonna do a quenelle of the pumpkin mousse on top of, this needs a bit more time to set, but that's okay, on top of the caramel. Yeah, it's a bit soft still. Clean that up a bit. Crumb burning. Preoccupied. Cool. And then we're going to sprinkle our brown butter crumb.
Watch your backs to the hot tray, guys.
So brown butter crumb over the top. Anyone like Hawthorn, the football team? Because this is very much on theme for that. Yeah. Do they want to? And then we're going to garnish with our twill. How do you get in the mold? It's just like, it will kind of start to pop up a little bit, and this is really hot obviously, so tea towel, pop it and like peel it. The good thing about the twill recipe is it's quite pliable, so when you take it out of the oven, you can like fold it a nice like wavy look, but you just have to be kind of quick, like 1 second out, bang, and it's like already set. So.
I have another question.
Yeah.
What's with like brandy snap?
The twill molds?
Yeah.
I haven't actually tried. I think the brandy snap might be a bit too liquidy. It might not set, because when you go to move brandy snap straight from the oven, it can tear apart. So I go from like mold. Yeah.
Amazing. Good play.
But yeah, good job. Yeah, thank you. Sorry, the first time I did, I was like,
Guys, we are fortunate enough to have dinner at an amazing venue tonight. Time to have a chat to Angelica tonight, to ask any other questions, to get selfies and all that sort of stuff, okay? So
I did my makeup for today,
I know,
right?
that's me too, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we have plenty of time tonight, so I just want to say thanks to you. Well done, that was amazing.
Thank you.
We really pleasure and it's an honour to have you as a mentor. Great job. And you guys can still learn a lot from this chef. And we're going to have dinner with him tonight. So we're going to go out and we're going to go to the bus, jump on the bus, and then I'm going to have a chat to you about tomorrow. Sometimes I'll ride with you guys. Let's go.
Cool. Thank you. All right, no worries. Thank you. I'll see you tonight. Oh, do you want to try
Have a
it?
quick taste if you want.
Grab some spoons. If anyone takes photos, tag me, because I'm not taking photos right now.
Yeah.
Tag me.
Blah, blah, blah.
All that jazz.
Thanks, guys. We've got about 3 minutes to be in the bus.
I want to take a photo. Hold on.
Yeah.
What was your settings for chilled? Because I've just lost my recipe for it. My phone's reset.
I know, right?
It